Now, we saw a lot of Vita stuff.
Right.
They did focus on Vita a lot. Billy Self says, this only proves that Vita is in a bad place when you use a lot of stage time to push it this much. I hope it's saved.
I guess. I mean, they want you to be excited about it. That's not, I don't think it's in a bad place. Even if it was doing super well, they'd still talk about it.
What do they say? Their goal is to make it, to broaden its appeal, right? And,
Right.
and then they announced the official price drop,
Right.
$199.
Yeah.
And then they show a lot of games. They showed a lot of cool, they are smaller indie games. They didn't show, the God of War.
There was no
Vita.
infamous Vita game. That's what I've been wanting and looking for, right? And you, like you talked about, the console quality experience, the console experience. That, with the exception of the Borderlands 2 announcement, we didn't really get that. However, they then did drive home the fact by playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag on remote play that this is what it's about. And they said, I think the quote was nearly all or most of the PlayStation 4 launch games play this way. The exceptions, hopefully only being, and according to Shuhei, only being camera games, right? If you have a game that uses the PlayStation Eye, your PlayStation Vita can't do that.
If that's really how it looks on Vita, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like the real game just brought over.
But you said you weren't satisfied with how they demonstrated crossplay.
Right. My big thing was like the show. I'm a big nerd for what excites me about the new generation are the consoles and the interfaces. And so I was super stoked when it opened with Shuhei in a chair screwing around on screen and just going through the interface. And I'm like, oh, and the XMB is still there. You know what I mean? He went up and the XMB was still up there and you got to move around that way. That was really cool. And I wanted to see how I'm playing Assassin's Creed and I say, okay, let's take it to the Vita. And I was hoping they were going to show that, and they didn't.
Yeah, that is still unclear.
They did a very hypothetical, and now he wants to get off. Now somebody wants to watch rubbish TV, and so then they picked up on the Vita. But it was like, how seamless is that process? What kind of is it built into the PlayStation 3? Is it built into the menu of Assassin's Creed? I imagine it's I'm basically hitting the PlayStation Home button. It's popping up and saying "Quit game," whatever, blah, 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 and then or like Beam to Vita.
Move to crossplay.
Yeah.
I like Beam to Vita. I hope
Beam to
Vita.
Vita.
That's the wording.
And with Beam to Vita play, you can take the game with you anywhere, anytime.